tonight is Nikhil. Nikhil is a leadership and team coach, and the title for his story for tonight is The Lessons of Ego. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you very much, Mudit. Hello, everybody. So I don't know a lot of you, so thank you very much for coming and sharing this time with me. And I know a few of you, so thank you very much to those also to coming here and sharing and listening to me. So when Rakesh told me about this Karma talk, I was very inspired, and I was trying to attend it for a very long time, but last time is when I got a chance to attend it. So I've attended once, and today it's about me sharing my story. Um, so and when he told me what should we name it, and there are so many lessons that we all have in our life, but then I thought, let me talk about the biggest lesson that I have, and I still consider that the biggest lesson for me in my life is about ego. Ego, a very small word, but impacts so much in our life. So as I start sharing, maybe it will unfold where it took me and why am I calling it ego. So so you know, oh, I can see my video here. I wanted to see everybody. One second.
Okay, you
Okay.
can switch to speaker view.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so I belong to a typical business family where, and my dad was into poultry farming. So since my childhood, I always thought that when I grow up, I will join my dad's business. And poultry farming was very interesting. There'll be a lot of hens, and then there are eggs, and then there are more hens from the egg, and then there are more hens. That's how life will go. So life is good. That's how it will keep going. um, and it started like that. So right after my school finished, my all my friends went for a movie, and I wanted to go back to my dad's office because I was very motivated. I wanted to do something in life. I wanted to prove myself, and especially to my parents. The definition is, yes, Nikhil, I am proud of you. So and my life was revolving around that. Your video was hung. Are you all able to hear me? I don't know if my connection is stable. It's a good. Okay, great. So yeah, so the definition of success for me was when my dad says, "I am proud of you," which was a very difficult task actually. So I joined my dad's business, and for about 3 years, like a workaholic, day night, I will keep working for him, and there was nothing else, which was my own decision of what I want to do in my life, and I was looking for success over there. So, but then an accident happened, and after that accident, I was on bed rest for about 3 months. And 3 months, when I thought, where am I going, what all is happening, this time that I got for myself, I realized that, I don't think in this poultry farm I am doing what I want to do. This is maybe not my choice. So a friend of mine told me, why don't you do a job with me? And I joined him, and I joined a job with him from 2000, I think, 2 to 2008, or 2001 2008. I was in this job, and because I was very motivated, I only saw success year after year. And every year I used to get a promotion, because what are the skills you required for a promotion? You're dedicated, you're focused, and that was happening till 2008. Started at an entry level, but success after year. And 2008, something happened. This company that we were in, it was taken over by another company, and the entire management changed. So when the management changed, everything changes. Things were not looking good. I decided to maybe then leave it and start something on my own. And before that, what I knew of my family when I was doing that job, and then what I knew of my family after that also completely changed. um, 2008 till 2011, I would today say that those, how many years is that? 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 4 years. It was a complete shock to me of how I knew life, how I knew my family, because everything changed. And after seeing success for so many years, failure after failure is what I saw. Whatever I wanted to do, I was failing in everything, and it was a complete shock. um, because so initially, I decided I'll open a restaurant. And I did multiple businesses. I opened a restaurant. Opened a recruitment company. I did tie-ups with people, but nothing was working. I was fighting with my family. I have two brothers, one elder, one younger, and I was fighting with them every day because earlier when I was into a job and I was not working with them, they used to listen to me. Whatever I used to say, they used to do that for me. But they also changed. So, um, complete shocker. I was almost going into depression. I still don't know if it was depression because I couldn't sleep and all of that was happening. So I kept asking myself, why is this happening to me? I have not done bad to anybody. I have not done anything wrong for anybody. Why is this happening for me? My savings were over. They say that there are three things which teach us the best of the lessons, which is empty pockets, broken hearts, and hungry stomach. All of these three things happened to me in those 3 years. Lost relationships, lost friends, savings were over. I had invested everything, but nothing was improving. And those 3 years, obviously 3, 4 years, it looked like it is never ending. Sometimes when I was sleeping, I used to think, what, this is how my life is going to be forever now. It will never going to end. And so I kept asking, why is this happening to me? And then one day I realized maybe this question is wrong. So actually, and how did this happen? And I will share this incident in between. And Rakesh specifically even likes this one, so I will share this. So when I was almost in depression, I was thinking that nothing is working out. I one day decided that if nothing's working out for me, I've lost everything. Let me do something. I'll go out on the road and I will help somebody else. Let's see what happens then. So I just took my car. I went on the road to find somebody to help. Okay, and I saw there is this foreigner couple. Okay, they were trying to talk to somebody, and I could understand that nobody is understanding them. So I stopped and I asked them, "Can I help you?" And so they were Russian. They didn't know English. They didn't know Hindi. So somehow they explained this. Yeah, we were looking for this address. So I said, okay, I'll drop you there. So I went to drop them, and they had a lot of stuff with them. So I helped them with that also. Next morning they called me and they said, "Can you help us more?" I said, "Yeah, okay, I'm free. I'll do that." So they said, "Can you drop us to Badarpur border?" I don't know if you know Badarpur border, and it's very far from my place. So I thought, okay, I think that's a lot of help, but doesn't matter. I'll help you. I'm free. So I went to drop them, and then again they had a lot of stuff with them. And on the way, I asked them, "What is this? What are you carrying with you?" And they said, "This is all the Gita book," and they were going to ISKCON temple in Vrindavan. So, and that time I thought, pata nahi ye foreigner log kya karte hain? Why do they leave their country and they come to India and they do Hare Krishna and all of that? So I dropped them there. They went, and when they were going there, they gave one of the Gita book to me as a gift. And at that time, I thought I will not even read it. Why will I read Gita and all that? But anyway, I kept it. And after that, one day I was just sitting at home, and I just thought, okay, if I have nothing else to do, I'll read this book. So I started reading Gita. I don't know what happened that night. Before that, I kept asking, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And I have not done bad to anyone. Then why is this happening to me? And one day, and I was also thinking, I've lost so much. I had lost everything that I said, lost friends, lost savings, everything. And even that I met somebody who did a fraud with me and I went into debt. So I kept thinking, when I've lost everything, then why am I losing more? And somehow that day when I started reading Gita, I was trying to sleep in the night, and about 2 o'clock in the night, something happened here, and I just got up. I was like, you know what? I think I got the answer. What have I not lost? After losing everything, what have I not lost? And there was one thing that I had not lost till then, and that was my ego. I think, and somehow it just happened that the day if I lose my ego now is when everything will change. And I'll tell you how. So whatever I was trying to do, whether it was opening a restaurant or opening a recruitment company or anything, I was doing all that. What, I am good and I can do something, because I think all the success or all these years had spoiled me a lot. And I started believing that I can do anything. So I was fighting with my brothers, I was fighting with my dad, I was fighting with everybody. and I wanted everybody to just let me do what I want to do. And it was even showing in my language that, you know what, I know what to do. I know how to do it. Wherever I was losing relationships, I was hurting other people. I was not even realizing that. And somehow life was giving all of that back to me. And that night, so my relationships were spoiled with everybody. And that night, when I realized that it's my ego and I'm doing all of this to prove to somebody else, maybe all of this is not even my plan. Opening that restaurant was not my plan. I was just doing it to prove it to somebody. Opening that recruitment company was not my plan. I was again doing it to show somebody that, you know what, whatever I'll do, I will succeed in that. And that night, before I slept, I decided to forgive everybody. Now forgive why? Because relationship was spoiled. From my side they were wrong, from their side I was wrong. So I decided, first of all, right now, for whatever has happened, I will forgive everyone. And that night, after 3 years, I think I slept in peace. Without having a plan, what will I do tomorrow to prove anything to anybody? Because I thought, I don't know what I want to do, but right now I will take some rest and I will then decide what I want to do. And my life from that day automatically started changing. I started feeling light in my body, and then somehow I got an offer from somewhere for a job. I again joined a job. The ego lesson was still there, because now when I joined a job, I joined on a lower designation than what I was earlier. And people who were reporting into me, I could see that, they have reached higher. What will they think, when they see that I've joined on a lower designation? All of that was still, I think, giving me some lessons on my ego. And then with a lot of difficulty, I accepted a job offer. I didn't want to put it on social media and show people that, I was a manager and now I'm back to assistant manager. But but a lot changed, after these 3-4 years. When I've been back to the job, I started observing people, and I started noticing that a lot of, arguments that happen at work, a lot of people are doing those arguments also because of ego. Nobody remembers what objective we are here for. And one of the things that I do in every conversation now is ego versus objective. Why are we in this conversation? There is an objective. And then there is a ego which is becoming a barrier. A lot of times, when I see people are fighting for something, and when they come to me and they're like, this is happening, he's saying this, he's saying that. And I ask one question to people: tell me, what is your objective? Why are you in this conversation? And they're like, oh, acha, objective. It was socha hi nahi. Then why? Ego versus objective. I keep asking this question to myself all the time, whether I'm going for a job or a project, or I'm with a friend, anytime. Ego versus objective. Is there an objective that I'm trying to meet? And then everything starts becoming clear after that. So I think couple of lessons, in these 3 years, one of the things I learned is that ego definitely makes us blind. And what direction we are going into, we don't realize that. Another lesson I learned was that whenever some bad situation feels never ending, it is not the end. We just have to change the question we are asking. So the wrong question I was asking myself was, why is this happening to me? But the question actually should be, what is this teaching me? So why is this happening to me was only making me a victim, and that victimship was again hurting my ego, and I was again fighting with people. But the moment I start asking, what is this situation trying to teach me now? And I sit with that question for some time, I always understand what is happening here, and then the situation changes. The moment you get the answer is when the situation changes. um, Another, I think, there are three lessons that I had written. Yeah, ego keeps us blind. Everything passes, nothing is permanent. And yeah, another lesson that I personally learned was, my success always spoiled me, but failures have taught me the best of lessons every time in my life, when I ask the right question: what is this situation teaching me? So I think, yeah, that's about it. Now I try to keep my ego check all the time. I'm usually grateful for whatever is happening. And I keep asking myself, am I going in the right direction? And now I'm running an organization, I'm running a company, but I keep my ego in check. I always keep thinking that I am not the boss. It is every one of us in the organization who's running the organization. So I keep my ego in check. I always keep thinking that I am not the boss. It is every one of us in the organization who's running the organization.
Looks like your video's frozen and
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
So yeah, I think the last thing I said was I keep telling everybody, if anybody calls me boss, I tell them don't call me boss. We are all doing this together. So I keep checking. I should never go into that same thing of I am doing this. So yeah, I think that's about it for now. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for sharing your life story with us. And now I hand over the stage to Vala, who is going to conduct the reflections for us. Vala, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Modit, and thank you so much, Nikhil, for such an inspirational speech. I think I've learned a lot, and my reflection very quickly before I go to everyone else. I think I did that. I fell in that problem not for 9 years. I was learning French, and it took me 9 years to realize that I don't like the language. But I think throughout these years, I knew it deep down, but I was so egotistic to admit that I failed in learning this language. I was like, no, I can do it. And I took courses far away from my home, and I would go there, pay money, waste time just to say I succeeded at the end. But I was at some point I was like, what is wrong? The problem is me, and I need to change that. I mean, I changed the language and I started learning another one, but I think I love what I'm doing, and I think I'm moving forward with that language quite good. So yeah, the problem is a huge problem. And now let's hear it from, I know you never speak first, Samar, but I like that your life is between courts. So how do you see people and ego in these courts? Let us hear from you, and unmute and jump right in.
Yeah, thank you, Vada, for giving me this opportunity very early on today. And thank you, Nikhil, first of all, for sharing this beautiful story. I just can't see you. Just let me get you on the screen first. Yeah. So I was saying, it's a it's a revelation of sort, because normally people don't get to realize that they have ego issues. So, am I audible? Hello,
Yes, yes, you are.
hello.
Yes, Simran, you're.
Yes. We can hear you, but you probably cannot hear us.
Yeah.
All right. So until he comes back,
He's
can you
back.
hear us now?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I was what I was saying was, as a matter of fact, it's a revelation for me quite a lot of times in my life, that whenever I get to know that people realize that the issue that they're facing in life is that of ego, that itself is a revelation, because it is very difficult for people who have ego issues to realize that they have such an issue at the very onset. So, congratulations to you that you figured out the problem that you were, or the hurdle that you were suffering in life. And I heard it somewhere that a bad day for a bad day for your ego is a good day for your soul. So I think what you realize, and very early on in your life, and I think that's a solution to all our problems, if we get to realize that.
You unmuted. All right.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I got a call in between. So it's really nice that you got to know about your problem, and I have seen people who will not let go of their egos even until their last breath. So congratulations to you for that. And I hope if you got the lesson from, let's say, Gita, or from the experiences that you've had in your life, wherever it would be, I think they're most welcome for any person. And I think we should all imbibe these qualities in us, and imbibe the fact that that is the biggest enemy is not the one who you don't like. The biggest enemy is within yourself, which is the ego and the pride that that you harvest inside your body. So congratulations to you for that. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. And do you guys remember that that speech was supposed to be about success, but the amount of times we've heard the words fail, failure, failing was incredible. And I think that is important to realize that to reach success, you do have to go through these words. And now I want to hear it from the optimistic of the group, Atmika. Hope I pronounced that correctly. So your designer and all designers are just optimistic. I cannot hear you. Can you?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Hi.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think your headphone is seriously damaged.
I think yes. I'll get them checked. Actually, I'm not used to using Bluetooth so much, so I mean, I really like chords for some reason. Anyway, um, I mean, it was a lot of food for thought for me personally, and I mean, like, there's a lot of things going on in my head still. Um, Thank you, Nikhil, for getting me. I mean, like, I've never thought about this thing. Like, do I go through? Like, do I face ego issues? And if they're actually stopping me, I mean, so there are like a series of questions going in my head, and I mean, I'm actually short of words right now, but I definitely I'm going to think about it quite well and see where I stand with this. And yeah, I mean, I think we should celebrate failures, and we should get motivated from them instead of feeling like actually going into the victim thinking that we usually tend to go. So I think that is for now the clearest thought I have. And I mean, thank you so much for like just poking out this whole bunch of questions for me. Thank you. Over to you. Bala.
No, thank you. I was about to say no problem instead of saying thank you. All right, and now let us move on to the new phase. Actually, when I joined this meeting, I was like, we have an American. And then I looked at the name. I was like, nah, probably not an American. And that was a racist thought. So I should probably never say that out loud, but I just did. So let's hear it from Sanjay.
Well, that is not the first time I hear that I'm not an Indian. I'm a proud Indian. Good. Coming back to the topic, ego is part of emotions. And we get ego equally like we get anger. We are not born with ego. We are not born with anger. Same way, we are not born with any type of emotions. So it is what goes in our mind, how our mind is programmed, what we think, how we develop our mindset. I'll also like to add what Nikhil said here is, I'm sure Nikhil will agree with me, is that, ego will also vary from person to person. I'll feel bad if person A tells me this, but if person B tells me the same thing, I will not feel that bad. This is how we tune our brain, and that is where sometimes with one person I feel very positive, with the second person I feel negative, and then I get a thought like a victim. How freely I share things with my family, with my parents, I get a positive vibe. Especially at a work or somewhere where there's an expectation, I lead it to something else actually. So ego is also directly, indirectly going to the expectation levels we have. We are expecting something, it happened, I feel happy. We are expecting something, it did not happen, I'm sad. And I am sad. Why I'm sad? Because there was an element of ego. I did not want to listen no. I wanted to listen yes. So that is how I feel the ego works. And more we feed it, more it will grow. It is like, I decide to be happy, I'll be happy, whatever happens in my life. More I feed towards my ego, more I feed towards being a victim. more sad we'll become. But the important thing, Nikhil, what you shared, I fully agree with that, is we need to have, sooner we have the purpose and reason why we are born, we'll get a lot of clarity. And when we start working on that reason and purpose, what we have, this ego feed will go less, because we are very, very focused. Because, otherwise I'm distracted. Like you tried so many, what I learned from your story is that you learned so many things in life. You tried this, and you had success. But the day you found your reason and purpose, you found a lot of empathy, you found a lot of collaboration, a lot of value in people, and you started working on yourself rather on people, because they automatically get benefited. So that is where I take out from your story, very motivating. Thank you for sharing your story. I feel that few words as like you start just working inside. It's all inward journey. It's nothing outside. So if we take care of ourselves, we'll take care of our ego, anger, or anything. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay. And it's definitely very philosophical. Never expected that deep reflection, but it was beneficial. And I hope it was beneficial to Nikhil as well. And now I want to hear it from the man that doesn't think that hunky-dory is real. Let's hear it from Manpreet.
Hey, thanks, fella. So, Nikhil, I really admired your journey, especially those 3 years. You really put forth really good points during that. I really like two aspects which you mentioned. That one aspect you mentioned on ego, that how we shouldn't go out with the ego, or how we should curtail our ego or check on the ego. Another aspect which you mentioned is that whenever you find solution to the life's question, life changes the question. So somehow I feel that those two things are very related. So we go rigid that we are right, this is the way we want to go. But on the other hand, I also feel that there is a very fine line between self-esteem and kind of being center of the universe. So we tend to see that, okay, self-esteem is ego. No, it's not ego, but it's a very fine line. And we many a times cross over from one side to another. I doubt if we would be able to completely eradicate that being center of the universe without being in that enlightened state. But at least we switch over from one state to another. That's what I feel. And it has happened with many times with my life. Especially the one which you mentioned, that your relations changed during that phase of 3 years. I had a self-induced jobless period for 2 years, and I saw few of my relations getting changed. They would poke me every time. Why are you not getting the job? What's the problem with you? So I had gone through that similar phase, and I have reacted in the similar fashion which you did, that I know what I'm doing. Let me do the way I want to do. So I was able to reflect and relate very much to that. But one thing which I feel, Nikhil, from your journey and overall from my journey, where I could see a lot of overlap, is that to keep the check on switching over from self-esteem to being center of the universe, I try to put gratitude and introspection journal every day in the morning and every day in the night. So just spending 2 to 3 minutes every day. I have been doing that for a few months now. What I feel is that I'm able to keep check. Okay, I'm swinging over into the other side. Let me come back. So it's not something which I can't introspect. So I'm able to introspect and get back into that. But overall, phenomenal journey, Nikhil. I was totally able to relate to that because I had that similar phase of 2 years, which you had. So thank you so much.
Thank you for these insights. Definitely something that we all should work on, kind of monitoring ourselves and being very aware of our actions every single day through journals, through reflections, through meditation, through whatever that makes us see the real us for who we are. And now let's see from the face that we haven't seen in a while. It's Aaron. Me and Aaron, we talked a long time ago about foods. he told me like, when I visit Egypt, what food should I eat? Then now we're talking about ego. So see how our conversations escalate.
It was a great listening to you, Nikhil. Actually, this happens to me also, or I think it happens to everybody whenever, because it's our say what we are. It's our due to our ego. If we keep it in check, within check, then this is what we are. So I somewhat agree with you. Whenever it should not go beyond that limit. It should be there so that you should be yourself. If it is zero, then then your existence will be, it's gone. So it should be somewhat, but it should within the limit. And when you when you shed your ego and keep it within a check, then you can see the positive side of what others are telling. Basically, it is due to miscommunication. When somebody is telling you something and you say that no, I know what I want to do or what I am doing. I know myself better. I know this thing or this situation better than anybody else. But maybe, and I think I am sure that most of the time and most of the situations, the person or the situation is telling you something else, but you are, thinking of anything else. That's why it happens. So when we are aware of ourselves and the situation, you exactly said that this is uh, every situation is telling you something. It is it is opening a door for you. And when some doors closes for you, there's several doors opening for you. There's a plethora of opportunities. So it was phenomenal listening to the story of yours. And I'm back, and back on this stage for quite a few weeks. I was away from this platform, but I'm happy that I'm back and I have listened to your great story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm learning a lot from your reflections, guys. And one of the things that you pointed at, Aaron, is dignity. Knowing that ego that makes you know your dignity and that makes people respect it, and you know your value, and like you have your own limits. But then this should not reach a point where you are oblivious to the good in others. So it should be it's a balanced equation here. Thank you so much for that. And now let's see. I think Rajesh had a similar situation where he was, if I remember correctly, you were like failing something and then you switched to another thing. So if you can unmute and tell us more about that and how ego played a role.
That's just my story entirely different, but yeah, that's the gist. Like I believe that ego is a little bit in a gray area. It's not absolutely. It's taken in a negative light, but it's not exactly a negative thing. It's not a positive thing either. It depends on how much of it you have. Like if you have a little ego that boosts your confidence and self-esteem and drives you towards doing things in a better way, that's a good thing. But once it crosses a line and it becomes an inconvenient to other people or rude to other people, or it starts destroying you, then it's a bad thing. For example, I'll give you an example. Like in school or college, I used to be an actor, on a stage actor. I used to play uh, roles and all. So I knew that I'm a good actor, and I when I went to stage, and I could deliver. But at one point, I thought that I don't even need to learn my lines. I'll just go on the stage. I'll improvise, uh, and people will enjoy. That didn't happen. That bombed really. that really bond. So once as far as I knew that I am a good actor, I practiced my lines. I perform and people enjoyed. That was a good positive ego. But once my ego got so out of control that I forgot. I just didn't learn my lines, so that completely destroyed my performance. So that was the bad side of the ego. So that's what I'm trying to say. Even in school or and college, I was very egoistic. Like I'm the most intelligent guy and I'm the most charismatic person, that kind of thing. And it got completely shattered when I graduated unemployed. My ego was completely shattered because I was the last person I was hoping to be stay unemployed till the end of college. It got completely shattered, and then I rebuilt it in a more positive light, with more checks. You have to keep it in check. Ego is like an animal. You don't have to make it go rabid. As long as it's your pet, it's good. Once it breaks its chains and goes rabid, not good. So I think ego is a good thing to some extent. After that, not so good. Sometimes it's a medicine. Sometimes it's a poison. Don't overdose on it. That's what my take is. And I've seen in my organization, I've seen people that sometimes due to their ego, they do something which is not very productive, like counterproductive things. You shouldn't go counterproductive just to feed your ego. Like your top priority should be while working. Your work should be. I think my time is my time. Okay, so nothing should be badly. As long as it's affecting things positively, good. If not, you have to check yourself. Okay, my bad. Okay, thank you. That will be it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think also that's why people say don't be the best in one place. Always try to be in a place where somebody else is better than you, so you can never reach that point. And you portrayed it perfectly good. And then I think I want to hear it from the wisest of the group, Suman. If you can unmute and jump right in, because you've got life experience.
Thank you, Vala. And welcome, Nikhil. I heard a lot about you from Rakesh and Monica since very long. And in the last batch, my daughter also registered for your that course program, but that was not going. So that's okay. Maybe next time. And you said about so many things. One thing I kept, which I realize is that when something bad has happened to us, we all are blaming on God and some other people that why this is happening to me. And when something good happened to us, we never complain or never say, never thanks to anybody. So this is very good thing. So whatever happening to us is because of some reason or maybe some destiny telling you or teaching you something. So that is very good thing. And you said ego. In last half an hour, everybody is talking about ego and self-esteem and crossing the lines, very narrow line. So self-esteem is, I believe that is important to everybody. Because when you not respect yourself, you can take that as ego, maybe. To some person, maybe it's an ego, but for me, it's a self-esteem. So that is very important because among all the group members, I am very elder than everybody else. So many group members. So self-esteem is very important for everybody. I respect myself. That is, you can take it as ego, but self-realization, that's this is the thing which keeps on making me doing better and better. And you said everything passes by, whether it's right or wrong. that is a very big thing, because I have seen also lots of things, bad and good. Whenever bad happens to me, I always said to myself that something bigger and better is going to happen in future. So I am hoping for that, and I'm a very positive person. That's why I think I'm here in this group. So thank you so much, Nikhil, and thanks, Vala.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was cute, Rajesh, to see your cat. Uh, thank you, Suman, for your insights. And now I want to hi to Meow. And now let's hear it from the Rakesh's wife. Rakesh's wife husband. Rakesh's wife sister's
Brother,
husband.
brother.
Oh, I said sorry.
Vijay.
Just say the name,
Vijay
Vala. Don't confuse.
Narnolia.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was confusing for different people.
yeah.
And today, I think that was worse than last time.
Okay, it's all right, Navin. So thanks, Nikhil. It was quite motivating story. Absolutely fantastic. Because I think people have to met with accidents to get our inside thoughts and all. Everyone, I heard a lot of stories. Like you need to go to accident. So I was thinking like I never met an accident. We should, but I thought like I have met accident recently with the Caravan. So this is my I was driving rashly in my life. I got accident with Caravan. So I hope the process has started. I hope I will reach to the sites, the thought process that Mr. Nikhil has reached. So Nikhil, nicely how you change your life, how you put up your life, how nicely you have said, how your thought process changed, how the words you use broken. You said empty pocket, broken heart. I hope hungry stomach, everything is filled up now. The how you started that word, that forgiveness, that was a beautiful you floated like the day you realize one night. I think one night can change a lot of things if you really get into inside of something and you really want to grasp something, really want to change. One night can change a lot of things. So that's in the story of Mr. Nikhil, he showed beautifully like even one book, one thought process, 1 hour, maybe he spent I think 3 to 4 hours reading that book, thinking of insights, and thus in the morning, and he had a good sleep in the morning, is a lot of things changed. He forgive everyone, he forgave everyone. So it was fantastic, like it can change your life. You have nicely put the word ego. I liked it, how ego versus objective. Yeah, a lot of times we have heard like ego hurts, damages your relations, your professional personal relationship. You have nicely presented it in a live example how ego has can damage your life. Of course ego is important, but it can damage your life, and you are nicely presented, give us the examples that it has to be managed very nicely. Nicely you said success is not permanent. This it will pass away. Of course in my life every day I see I'm working on a ship as a gym. I made one mistake, one error is required, I'm thrown out of the firm. There is no job. My success is not permanent. Nicely failure teaches a lot. Nicely presented, failure teaches a lot. Yes, of course everything we do, we face a lot of problems, we are not able to solve it, but it gives us a lot of lessons. And the last thing you said, the firm you are working with, everyone is boss. Fantastic thing. Everyone is boss. If that culture is developed, that learning process of everyone along with everyone rises in that firm. That's my belief. From boss to the lowest more person, everyone will their level will raise, their intellectual raise. What I do, same thing. When I go to the ownership, am I working with a team? We have a problem. If I act, I've seen a lot of times. Okay, I'm the boss. I will say, I will command you. You do this. Sometimes the problem will to get it solved take 4 hours, 5 hours. When you are not the boss, and everyone is the boss, and everyone's opinion is welcome. Sometimes you see fantastic results. The problem gets solved within 10 minutes. Even the junior most officer or anybody will give you a fantastic idea. This thought process was absolutely great, Mr. Nikhil. We learned a lot from your story. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such humbling reflections, Nikhil. Everybody's thanking you, and you're like, "What do I do now? I just talked about ego." Now let's move on to Tavleen. I think you've been processing the speech for quite some time. We've got 2 minutes.
Vala. Hi. Good evening, everyone. I think I know Nikhil for almost 2 years now, and I'm very conscious of, when it comes to who should be my friend, I'm very conscious, and I'm so glad that he's one of the closest friends I have today. And I keep saying that he's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to have some gyan about how to have better relationship with others and also how to have a better relationship with yourself. So in that context, trust me, he's a walking encyclopedia. And coming to today's story, I think his story, his experience, it reiterates the fact that we seek so much of social gratification, be it from friends, be it from family, and in the pursuit of this social gratification, we end up doing things which is not our calling. And there, I think we need to draw a line that how much of social gratification I should seek, and it should not come at the cost of my own peace. Right. So what Arun nicely reflected that we need to someday draw a line that I really want gratification from my parents or from my friends or from my family, but at the same time I also should take care of my own peace. What is my own calling? Also, I agree with what Sanjay ji said that the same message, when it's conveyed by two different people, it will have different impact on me depending on, again, what kind of equation I have with each of these, right? So I think that's my reflection. We need to draw a line. That's all. Thank you, Nikhil, for your lovely story. He's every time he's doing this, so I'll also repeat it. Over to you, Vala. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now let's hear it from from Rakesh. Tavleen just talked about gratification, social gratification, and you're a life coach. So how about you talk to us about that?
Yeah, thank you, Vala, and thank you, Nikhil, for sharing the story. Even the incident you narrated long back, I think 1 year back, I heard, and it is stuck in my mind from that day, because I never went out to someday that let's help someone and on road. So that was something new for me, that sometime I'll go out, pick my car, and I'll go and help someone. And after helping 2 days, they will give me a book, and that will change my life. So these kind of incidents is out of the world. So, but you narrated it very well and extracted the meaning in whole life. These incidents happened with me also. This incident that one book was coming in my way again and again frequently from three years back, a book which is even my friend over phone or in my office, some colleague or anyone, every time that book is coming in front of me again and again. Then I went to some training. Then in the training, the trainer also told me that read that book. So that book was The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. So, and I just after that training, I went out and purchased that book and finished within a day or two, and that completely changed my perspective. Actually, the law of attraction and all that I was using from the childhood, those things, but I was not aware that these are the things. These law of attraction were real. So likewise, I got connected with your story that a book can change. So thank you. It is always nice to hear from you and talking to you. Yeah. Thank you, Nikhil. And over to Vala.
Thank you for that suggestion. And now, last but not least, we've got 1 minute for Monica to jump right in. So if you have insights, do it in 1 minute. Unmute yourself.
Hey, hi Nikhil. Hello, hi guys. Hi to Ginger also. Yeah, I know Nikhil because he's my mentor from my unstoppable classes I attended. And I think on 5th day, I asked you why you are doing this free class, right? And you were like, no, because it's my passion. You know what? I feel a person can't heal other person or can't give any suggestion till he or she has gone through that, because you felt that pain and that's why you were able to help all of us. And it was really mind blowing, and I knew it. Definitely you are going to say so many different incidents, and definitely it's going to be about something very big, and I'm absolutely stunned that it was about ego. So I if I share about my thing, I remember I joined W, and I think uh, just in 6 months I was kicked out, and my boss was like, you are meant for some big things and you are going to do this and that. And I was like, okay, fine. But I cried a lot in the metro, and I felt okay, I am going to prove myself, and एक दिन ना इसकी पूरी कंपनी खरीद लूंगी. Then I realized something is changing in me. It's ego. I should not behave like that. And I thought, okay, within 2 months, I'm going to launch my brand, and I'm going to prove, and I'm going to do this and that. But I had a word with my friend, and she was like, listen, why you are doing this? Is it a revenge or an ego? Please cross check yourself. It's not right. And then I went home, I wrote my diary and on journal. I thought, okay, yeah, I never had these kind of things in my mind. Even self-esteem is, I think it's too far. I learned about ego and these things quite, I was naive, I was innocent. And so that day it really take ki nahi, ye kaam ki cheez nahi hai. And here I am after 4 to 5 years, I launched my brand with more passion and love, so that it's leading me towards more creativity, not with ego. And definitely it's a good thing that you are writing journals and diary and introspecting, because it's very, very much important. And I don't know, all of us know about this or not, but I'm writing my journals from past 20 years, and that has really helped me. And thank you so much for sharing this wonderful story. I'm happy that you have conquered it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Monica. I'm very glad that we got a chance to listen to your reflection. It was definitely mind-blowing for me, and wrapped everything up quite nicely. Now it is time to end this reflection session and go back to the Godfather Modit. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Vala. And I am so glad that from the last session, you did pick up connecting the wrong people. You're still continuing that. I'm sure probably in a couple of more sessions, we'll have more fun with your insights on the relationships. Coming back to the story that Nikhil shared, all the while when everyone was talking about their reflection, I was thinking, what are the areas wherein I need to keep a check on my ego? And I really liked that one insight. It's difficult, like what went through and what we all listened was pure philosophy. And when we have to convert it into action, we need some objective point. And what I really liked about your story was you gave us that important tip. The tip that whenever you are in that dilemma, in that conversation which is not going anywhere, just think back whether it is because of your ego or are you still on that objective, and drive that conversation back to the objective with which you wanted to start it. So kudos to you, Nikhil, for bringing up that lesson to all of us, to myself, through that life story. And on that note, we all of us have already switched on our cameras. So let us pose. On the count of 3, we are going to have a photograph. All right. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Here you go. I've got the photo. And before we end, while Nikhil's story ended and we were reflecting, I just quickly remembered about a very famous commencement address by Steve Jobs. So how many of us have listened to that address? Steve Jobs' commencement address at the Harvard University. Give me a thumbs up if you have listened to it. All right, that's a majority. That's a majority. Let me quickly quote one of the incidents that he talks about. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I have ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Let us reflect on what harm our ego has caused us. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. Good night.